guys, welcome to Good News with the Z, where the news is always fresh and the tea is always sweet. I'm your host, Danny B, and I am here with Brandin Campbell, the owner of Capture Connect Media. Everybody, let's give a round of applause for Brandin. Hey, Brandin, how you doing today?
What's going on? What's happening? Danny B.
Nothing much. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are happy to have you as we relaunch a new season of Good News. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
No problem. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Where do we want to start? That's the question. Brandin Campbell, born and raised in New Orleans. New Orleans boy, the common high school thing, St. Aug, Xavier University, and I think I'm here to talk about entrepreneurship. I am a business owner. I own a marketing agency. I think we're in year 9. I am a somewhat of a serial entrepreneur. I've had businesses since high school and still doing things till today. So, yeah.
All right, Brandin. So you built a full-service marketing agency from the ground up. So what is one thing that you wish someone would have told you before you got started?
I wish they'd have said, don't do it.
Don't do it. Why?
Entrepreneurship just in general is tough. It's a daily grind. I think that most people don't understand what it really takes to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're the janitor. You're the CEO some days. You're the strategist. You're whatever's needed in the moment, right? And you also, to your team, you're a shoulder to cry on. So you take on a lot of responsibility, and sometimes, it's not as rewarding as most people think that it should be, right? Because most people see the glitz and the glam, right? People pulling up in the Ferraris 20 years later, but that's 20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So it just takes time, So I wish someone would have said, not necessarily don't do it. I'm kidding, of course, but would have said, hey, it really takes time. It's hard, but if you keep swinging, you should get there.
Mm-hmm. So, you talk about it being hard. Like, what is one moment where you felt like you definitely wanted to give up and you say, look, I'm not doing this? And what was the thing that kept you motivated to keep going?
I don't have like one singular moment that I felt like I wanted to give up, because I think that that probably happens every other day. You're like, I'm tired of this. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm over this, because that's just the nature of business, especially when you're responsible for everything. But I think that what keeps me going, at least, is understanding, my real reason that I'm doing this, right? And it has nothing to do with the marketing agency. It's really that, I believe in coming up with ideas that can help people and solve problems. It's just so happened God put this marketing agency in my lap because of my corporate experience working for Clear Channel, iHeartMedia, and AdvancedDigitalNola.com. These media companies, and I have a marketing degree. It just made sense for me to, start my full-time entrepreneurship journey with this marketing agency.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, what as an entrepreneur, you just, you have the ability to help people, right, change their lives, right? You become a part of that, right? Whether it's a client, whether it's a team member, you own that, and I think that's the real reason why. And when you're talking about, generational wealth and having real impact, like, this work, or this thing that I created is employing people, right, which helps them live their lives or attain their dreams, right? Our clients, right, same thing. The good work that we do is impacting their households and their jobs and their promotions or whatever their goals is for life, right? It's helping. So that's the real reason that keeps me going.
That's good. So you work with a lot of clients, and some of them are entrepreneurs. So what is one of the biggest mistakes that you have seen entrepreneurs make when they come to you and say, hey, I have a business, I want to market it? What are some of those things?
Yeah. I mean, you want entrepreneurs or just business owners or businesses?
Business owners, entrepreneurs, but what is the most common mistake they make when they are marketing themselves or their brand?
I think most people just don't. They probably just they're not as sure as what they want, right? And they have the idea of what it should be, and that is a common mistake, right? You know, there's a fundamental there are fundamentals that has to happen that have to happen. There's fundamentals that have to happen in marketing, and they just don't change. They're core principles, and sometimes business owners, whether they're at the corporate level or they're small business owners, they want to skip those things, right? And they think because that's what they think should happen, that's what they want to do. But no, you got to follow the core principles first, right? You take care of, if you have an understanding of what those are, you know, you can build a good marketing campaign, which would connect back to some real-time results. So, you know, not understanding, you know, or what usually happens is they'll focus on being extra creative, right? They have this cool idea. Hey, I want, you know, a naked man to run down St. Charles Street to sell, you know, my my shoes. Like, well, yeah, that's a good idea, but also your shoes cater to, you know, men that are 65 plus, and like that don't really connect. It's a good idea in thought, but that's not going to help. You know, it's creative. It's a good idea. It's going to get some attention, but is that really going to get somebody to buy anything?
Yeah.
So what we come in to do, right? We say, hey, let's learn about the product, right? Let's learn about the service. Let's learn about you. Let's create a story, and let's figure out how that story aligns to the target consumer, and then let's build upon that. And that's how we align strategy to real results.
Okay.
And that's how we align marketing campaigns connected to real results as well.
Okay. And you mentioned marketing principles. Can you give us a few tips on what those are?
I have no idea what they are, you know. I think if you go to any marketing book, there's probably like the 4 Ps. It's been so long, I don't know them anymore. They're just so ingrained in my head. I just know what they are. I know what it is when I see it.
Okay.
And also a lot of it's gut, right? And you know, and also that's what you got to pay for too. No, I'm joking.
Well, this podcast, we want people to walk away with gems that they can say, oh.
Yeah, well, look, I think there's principles of marketing. If you Google it, there's things that's going to come up. And if you follow those core things, or you have an understanding of those core things, you know, you're kind of on track. But those are the fundamental things that should always happen. Like, they're just fundamental marketing principles. And some of them may not be in the textbook, right? Because marketing is not it's not set in stone. It's trial and error, right? Because you don't know if it's going to work until you try it.
Right.
That's just what it is. But if you have an understanding, if you do the legwork to understand, you know, what gets the target customer to move, if you have an understanding of, one, if you have a good product or service, and then how and how to really position it in the market to get the right attention, and then, you know, something should happen. But it's trial and error.
Okay. So if a person had a product or service and they come to you and say, look, I got $500 to spend to market this product or service, how would you advise them to spend that $500?
It depends, right? $500. It depends on the business. You know, $500 is not a lot, right? It's only so much you can do. I mean, my first thought is, if you want to give me a business, what I would do with $500.
Acne cream.
Acne cream. Okay.
Let's just say acne cream.
Acne cream. Okay, I got you. Let's
Just
go.
the first thing that came to my mind.
I like it, right? So if it was an acne cream that only had $500, I would say, maybe take half of that and create small samples.
Okay.
Right, small samples, and then the other half I would take and maybe have some promotional offers, right? And I would hit the street.
Okay.
I would find somewhere. I would find a couple of events that's happening in the city or wherever they are, and I would be at the entrance, and I would stand there and I would give away my samples, and I would give away some promotional material, and say, hey, here's what I do. Here's the product. You put this acne cream on. It'll work in one day. It'll clear all your bumps up. Here's a sample. Here's a 50% off coupon. And I think that would be a good use of money.
Yeah. So it's really about visibility and getting your product out there.
It's about being smart with the dollars that you have, right? It's about everything is always about visibility, right? But if you have limited dollars, you have to figure out creative ways to use that money to get the most visibility.
I actually met a young lady today. I was at a nonprofit event, and she came up to me. She had, she's 23 years old, and she had lip glosses that changed colors based on, like, you know, your body, pH or whatever. So she gave me one today. I told her I was going to wear it on a podcast, but I forgot to put it on. But I'm going to share those tips with her, like, you know, because she's looking to get her name out there, get her products out there. So I'm going to share this podcast with her. And, you know, you never know. She might become a client one day. So there's a lot of people out here with their little products, but they're just not little products, but they're products, and they're looking to get it into the hands of the right people.
Yeah.
Thank you for those tips. All right, Brandon, let's take it back a little bit. Because you didn't just start out as the CEO of Capture Connect Media. Like, tell me about, like, you know, the first time that you knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur, and then where did you start building your entrepreneurial journey? Because I remember we had a few conversations, and you were like, I had businesses in high school. You were selling your toys as a kid. So tell me about those things.
Yeah, so I was born at Charity Hospital. And then soon that day I was born, I was like, look, did y'all get the content? Because we're going to sell this. Let's do it.
Oh, my God.
No.
That's probably how your mind probably was thinking.
Yeah.
As soon as you came out the womb.
Let's go. Let's sell this. We can do this. Look, at the end of the day, I think I didn't realize it then as a kid. I am a salesperson, right? And if you're an entrepreneur, you have to be a salesperson. Salespeople have the ability to help people understand value in a thing, right? Entrepreneurs also have an ability to see opportunity when other people sees. Entrepreneurs have the ability to see opportunity when other people just see a problem.
Yeah.
Right? So, as a kid, I think my mind just always went to, okay, how can we solve this thing? And then it's like, okay, well, how can I sell this? So I do remember being, as a kid, you know, I was, you know, my dad was a cop. My mom worked at the bank as in banking. You know, we me and my brother, we grew up. I mean, we were not rich, but my parents definitely made us feel like we were rich. So we always had toys, and I recognized that we had more toys than other people. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna play with this for a couple of months, right? And then I'm gonna sell it, right? And I did that. So, you know, for Christmas time, we would have a closet full of stuff. I'm just like, okay, I like this. I'm gonna play with this. And I knew my brother was out. He was gonna break it. So I need to, you know, get to it before him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would sell the toys. I would play with them for a little bit and sell them, take them to school, and sell them and make some money. Then
and people was actually buying these toys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I remember getting a bike for Christmas. You know, I bought the bike knowing that I was going to sell it.
Oh my God.
I remember going to Toys R Us. We picked the bike out. It was red and it had the wheel covers. I was like, they're going to like this bike.
So you really wasn't getting it for you. You was getting it to
I was
sell.
getting it to sell, but I knew I was going to enjoy it for a period of time.
Yeah.
And then I walked. I had it for a few days. It was like, yeah, I like that bike. I like that bike. And then next thing you know, I sold it. I walked home, and Dad was like, "Where's your bike?" I sold it.
And what did your parents have to say about that?
They just shook his head. They just was looking at me
And let you do your thing.
and just let me do my thing. Yeah.
Well, it turned out pretty good.
Yeah. And then later on, I did other things. You know, I was always, you know, finding opportunity. I think even, you know, I forgot about this. This is so funny. We in high school, you know, I recognized people needed prom corsages. So, you know, I had my stepmama make those, and I was selling those at school.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I
Oh
forgot
my
about
God.
that.
It was a family affair. Of
Yeah,
getting it
it
done.
was always something, you know. And then a good friend of mine, Devin Bennett, you know, we we randomly came up with an idea. I don't know if we were inspired by FUBU, but we randomly came up with an idea to start a clothing line. And we launched a clothing line called Camden Clothing, conscious about my basic everyday needs. That was the kind of the name behind it. And we made it mission driven. We worked with a few print shops in the city. We found some clothing manufacturer in China, and then we just went to work. A guy in our class, he was into architecture, so I was like, Clarence, we need you to draw some stuff.
Yeah.
And he drew some designs, and we just wrote it from there. And
wow.
We had it in stores around the city. We were doing really good, and then life happens, college, and then we all just kind of lost focus. But
damn.
yeah, but
y'all was partying in college, huh?
We did enough. Yeah, we did enough. We had a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, but even when we were in college, we had a snowball stand. Actually, our snowball stand was inside of where it was the Dewdrop Hotel back then. But,
okay.
Y'all know the Dewdrop Hotel as the new Dewdrop Hotel. But we had a snowball stand inside of there. It was fun.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's other things too. I don't know what else I've done, but it's been all kind of stuff.
So you've been an entrepreneur since day one, before Capture Connect. Yeah. So was there a story you remember growing up, or maybe like somebody that inspired you? Like, you were in New Orleans and you're like, man, these guys are doing X, Y, and Z. I need to get on the grind like them. Because wasn't like Cash Money and all them coming up around your time, or like, tell me about that, because I feel like you have a story.
Yeah, I don't think I was inspired by anybody in New Orleans. I can't think of any one person, but I would probably say that it was probably all of that, right? Seeing people start from the ground floor to succeeding. I think that's kind of more of what probably inspired me and say, hey, you know what, you can do it. So probably looking at Cash Money. Master P, the rappers. I mean, there's been other business owners in the city. So I think it's all of that. But also, I remember, reading books. I read a lot of entrepreneurial books and also investment books early on when I was really young.
Okay.
So I looked at people like Warren Buffett, and I read books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There's a full list of Robert Kiyosaki, all these books on the way you need to think, what things you need to do to succeed, and how you make money.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think those things have been a big driver.
Yeah. And one thing I heard a person say is like, no matter how motivated you are, no matter how inspired you are, it all boils down to like your level of discipline, because some days you're not going to wake up and feel like doing it. You're not going to like love the work that you're doing some days. But talk to me about that, because we didn't have side conversations, but discipline is definitely everything. So what can you say to the audience about that?
Yeah, look, I think most people, and I think we started the conversation off by talking about how hard it is, right? I think anything that you're doing in life, especially when it's new and you're creating something that don't exist, it's hard.
Yeah.
I think it's also hard to get up every day to go to a job. Because you just don't want to do it some days.
Yeah.
So I think they're both equally hard. I think that being an entrepreneur, because you are, it's so much brain power and thought that that you have to put into this thing every day. It could suck the life out of you. And some days you're just tired, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I think, at least what I found is not to be hard on myself. And say, hey, you know what? Today is not the day. Tomorrow you can do better. If you're not feeling it, just take the break.
Yeah.
Take that time today and just reset and get excited. Or just reset and just rest. Because if your mind doesn't rest, you can't be creative and you can't think, and then you just don't have that drive that it takes to keep going.
Right. And I feel like a lot of young people, and this is good advice for them, like a lot of people don't like people to tell them anything.
Nothing.
Like, exactly. So I would say that I think it's very important to be able to learn from somebody and be able to take advice, you know, because I've been in situations where it's like, I know they're not telling me this because I feel like I'm showing up doing great and doing an excellent job. But after, like, you know, accepting the feedback and constructive criticism, you know, after you start implementing those things, you kind of start seeing like, okay, I see what this person was telling me, and it wasn't telling me this to like tear me down, but because they see potential and they want to build me up. So, you know, did you have a moment where you had somebody like come for you, like, oh wait, and you're like, I know I'm coming in here doing a good job?
Yeah. Look, I think that's what we should all hope for. We should all hope for someone to say, "Hey, you're doing, you're not doing the best. You're not doing what you need to be doing. You can do better." Because if you don't have someone that can tell you the truth, I mean, you're just gonna walk around aimlessly and just making a mess, and you won't reach your full potential. I think I've been fortunate in my life to have, even today, I've had people say, "Hey, look, this wasn't good," you know, and my feelings. I've never been hurt by it. I've just been like, okay, well, tell me what I need to do.
Yeah.
I'm always open to feedback because I want to be my best. I want to anything I'm working on. Where if it's this marketing agency, like I want the people that are bringing us on. I want them to win. And if we're not up to par, I mean, we're missing the mark. I mean, I need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what I need to do to be better, right? Whether that's hiring the right people, or it's some knowledge and skill set that I need, or it's a resource. I want to be able to get that because I want my clients to win, right? So yeah, I've had moments like that. I mean, endless. I mean, they go on and on. It's happened
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can
And
remember.
it's basically like, hey, you suck. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I remember you had told me something, and you probably don't know this, but I was going through a lot that day, and then I feel like I had to just go to the back and just cry for a second because I'm like, I cannot believe he told me this. But in retrospect, I'm like, okay, I needed to hear that because looking back over everything, I feel like that fueled me to kind of want to do better. Not kind of, but definitely want to do better, and to be like, okay, I feel like after 7 to 8 years of being in the industry, I feel like I got it. I'm doing it. Like, you know, but people have been in the industry longer than me. So I'm just like, you have to listen sometimes because people are not telling you anything just to, you know, just to hurt your feelings. It's because they want to see you do better. So if I could give any advice, it's like take the advice from people who have been down the path that you want to go down and who have done the things that you want to do because, you know, y'all can see further than we can see. You get what I'm saying? So it's only to help you and to make you better. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I think at any point of life you're in, whether you are new to the thing that you're working on, or if you're 20 years or 50 years in, I think you should always be open to criticism.
Yeah.
And you need to take that and say, okay, what is this person telling me? Why are they telling me this? And then then pivot quickly and figure out ways that you can improve.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, just like marketing is trial and error, life is trial and error. Like working towards success is trial and error. And you just gotta listen. You have to listen. You have to be able to read the room. You have to be able to see what people are saying. You have to be able to acknowledge that, hey, I don't know everything, and that's okay. Because you're not supposed to, but you should be able to find the resources or the resource that knows, and then enlist them to help you get there.
Exactly.
That's just it.
Yeah.
There's no other way to do this. It just doesn't work any other way.
Oh my God. So New Orleans has probably played a big role in who you are and, you know, what you do. So how has being from the city of New Orleans shaped how you do business?
I think New Orleans has a way that we do business, and I think most people probably can relate to it. It's all relationships. Well, first of all, business is relationships. I think we take a step further because we got to go to lunch to have, you know, a drink. We got to go out to eat. We got to go to the family get-togethers.
Yeah.
We got to do all this thing. I'm like, hey, let's get this. Let's get
it done.
Right. So I think. You know, I think I'm probably almost 20 years with being in this space of marketing, advertising. You know, from working for corporations to the agency, I think New Orleans in the culture and has shown me that, hey, you know what, it can't just be about business. You know, you really got to like your clients, and you got to become family with those people, because that's what we in New Orleans appreciate the most, right?
Exactly.
Like, you can just be okay at something, right? And then they have somebody who is amazing on this side, but if that person has a better relationship with you and they just like you and they like to call you and hang out with you, or have coffee or a drink at Commander's Palace or whatever that is, you're going to get the deal.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just part of it. Now, in an ideal world, we wish we can wake up and say, hey, I do an amazing thing, and you should hire me because of that. Right? And you should keep hiring me, but usually it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, so it all boils down to relationships at the end of the day.
It's all relationships, yes.
Yeah. Brandon, what is one of your marketing pet peeves? Something that makes you cringe, like you might see it on social media, you might see it somewhere. It's like, what is one thing you're like, oh my God, why would they do that?
There's a lot. There's a lot out there. I think, and it's more so it's not one thing. I can see it when it happens. It's really just being overly creative and not focused on how consumer, you know, not focusing on how a consumer would understand and buy that product, like what would make them get there. So again, I mentioned earlier, like a creative idea is great, but if it's not connected to the target audience, it's a moot point. Like, you just wasted money. And I hate for, you know, whether it's at the corporate level or a small business, I hate to see it happens, and it does happen all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's big misses, and that's when usually you see corporations, right? You know, the CEO or the chief marketing officer, they're in their head and they come up with this great idea, or they hire this marketing agency and they got this creative concept, and then they spend millions of dollars and then it don't work. Then people have to quit or they get fired because the creative idea just didn't align to the target audience. I think, you know, I think I forget the company's name, but they were I think they sold fire pits, and they had Snoop Dogg.
I remember that story.
Like he was the spokesperson, and he you know, he made this big announcement that, you know, he's gonna stop smoking. Love it.
Yeah.
Genius. It's a good idea and thought. It's real creative. Right, but then it didn't move the needle, right? Because I think it was a smokeless fire pit, right? And they thought Snoop Dogg could, you know, help sell this product by making this big announcement, but it didn't connect to who the actual end users were.
Right.
It just didn't connect. So now you had this good idea and you got all this attention, but that don't make nobody buy it.
Because it actually went over my head, because
Went over your head.
everybody was just like, dang, is Snoop Dogg really going to stop smoking? And they had so many people like, oh, I'm going to stop smoking since Snoop was smoking. But it was like days later, they were like, oh, that's what he was doing. Like, nobody cared about that part about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So it just missed the mark.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that kind of stuff happens a lot.
Okay, so perfect example. So they probably thought they had a good idea. Like, we got the talent, we got the smoke pits, like we have the pitch. So there's somebody right now who feels like, I have a good business, I got my logos, my website, but it's just not converting to sales and doing what I need to do. So what are some tips that you would give them to, like, you know, you got to pivot? It might not be about the look of the brand, the logo, the this. What are some things that maybe you can assess the brand and audit and say?
Yeah, I think it could be exactly what you said. It could be the look in the brand that's causing it. Because, you know, if it doesn't look right, people won't buy. You may get a few sales, but you have to look a certain way. That's just that. I mean, that applies to a product and also a person, right? If you don't look a certain way, people, it's not believable and they don't want to be a part of it. And that's just it. So it could be the website. The website couldn't maybe the website is laid out in a way where it's confusing, right? And it doesn't have the right words, right? Maybe the brand colors are not aligned to get somebody to think a certain way. So in marketing, right, all those things, we look at those things. We're like, okay, well, why you have a red everywhere? Red is great, but you sell medical, you sell spa services, right? So you need softer colors, right, to make people feel a certain way, because color evokes emotion and feeling. So we assess those things, and then we help people realign it. So it could be the brand and the look and the structure of the website, and even the design of the logo. What is it saying? Is it giving off the right thing?
Yeah. So it really takes some like deep marketing knowledge to be able to execute this thing.
Yeah, it takes some. Yeah, you got to know some fundamentals to be able to do it. And it doesn't have to happen like that all the time, because some people get lucky. But at some point, even once they get lucky and they want to continue, they have to like go back to the fundamentals of the marketing knowledge.
All right, so my next question: what's your system for turning ideas into execution? Like, how do you take a client from concept to campaign? Because a lot of people have great ideas but just don't know how to move them forward.
Yeah, we start off with this understanding what the product is. Like, so we start off with just having a base conversation, talking about, okay, like, what is this product? Who do you think that it appeals to, and why? Also, if you are the founder, like, why did you create this product? Right? So once we have understanding, and then also talking through what's the cost? Because what we found, right, and what we do know is, like, marketing is just not about awareness; it's also about pricing strategy and those type of things, and so we help with that. So once we have a fundamental understanding of all those things, and we can say, okay, here's what we recommend, and here's what we think the story is that will connect to that target consumer. But also, Mr. Client, you said that you think this is the customer, but we believe that your customer is women between 24 to 34, right? Because they have a better shot at buying. Their lifestyle, right? Where they are in their lifestyle and where they are as adults, they want this type of product. They want the lipstick. They still connect with that.
Yeah.
And then here's what we're thinking, how we reach them. So once we have those type of questions and that understanding, then we can figure out how to reach those people. So
really like understanding the why, and then what story you can develop to connect with your audience. Yeah,
it's understanding it's the why, right? We want to know the why behind why the founder or the owner, whoever created it, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to use that, because it also is dependent on who the target audience is, right? But once we understand the why, we learn more about the product, then we pull pieces out, and then we craft a storyline and the campaign and the messaging around that, especially what we know. Why, especially after we have a better understanding of how that consumer, or who that consumer is, and why they would even be interested in this product, and then we can build a campaign and messaging around that.
Okay, all right. And just to go a little bit further, because I feel like people watching, they want to know, like, they might want to be a CEO one day, right? But they feel like, I'm at this 9 to 5 right now. So what can I be doing right now to position myself so that I could be ready for when I am the CEO of a company? And you had a really great story about when you were working at UPS, I think it was, and how like pretty much those basic fundamentals of like you as a person and how you moved and how you did things, those things followed you to where you are today. So can you like talk to me about when you was first starting out, working jobs, and what was your mentality that helped you get to the next level?
Yeah, I think that anything that I've done, I've always my goal, whether it was intentional or not, was to be the lead. And you mentioned UPS, and I think I must have told you that story one time. So right out of high school, I started working at UPS, and I remember being in the truck. I started off I started off in the unload, so I would unload the trucks. Right, I had a short period of time, and there was a window of time that we had to unload probably 3 or 4 trucks a night, and had thousands of packages in it, and we had to get them out quickly. And you would be sweaty, dirty, and tired. But I remember looking up, and I remember seeing the supervisors, and they walking with their walkie-talkie, and Terrence was clean. Terrence wasn't working like I was working. So I said, okay, all right, give me 2 months, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that I'm gonna stay
Dirty and sweaty all
dirty
day.
and sweaty. So I paid attention what it took to get that, to get to that, and I did it, right? So anything that I'm doing or anywhere I've worked, I always looked at, okay, what does it take to excel and really, add, be a resource to the organization. Like I never showed up just trying to get a paycheck, right? I always wanted to figure out, okay, what's the need? What do they have going on? And how can I contribute, right, beyond just what I'm here to do?
Right.
Right? Because if you do that, that's how you get promoted. Right? If you can figure out if you can be a true resource and help an organization move forward, you can get to the next level. You had more to that question. I forgot what else was it.
Yeah, so you pretty much summed it up. I was pretty much asking, like, even if you're at a 9 to 5, what are some, like, what should your mentality be? Like, if you really are a leader and you're cut out for entrepreneurship, those things should be with you right now. Like, you should be operating like you want to be a leader. Like, if you go into a job, don't just go to the job for a check. You need to be going in there
you should be trying to solve. You should be a problem solver.
Exactly.
If you can't solve a problem solver, you're expendable. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Right. So when they have to cut budgets or whatever, you're going to get cut. If you've come in and you've if you created impact by solving problems, and you continuously do that very well, then you're going to move up, and you have job security.
Yeah.
And also, if when you wake up every day, you should want that for yourself.
Yeah.
Like you should want to be of value, right? You shouldn't just want to just do the bare minimum, because those behaviors won't change when you get your own business. Actually, it's going to be harder for you.
Yeah.
It's going to be extremely hard, because you're going to take all those bad behaviors into your own company, and nothing's going to work for you. You got to be relentless about being successful and being a resource and being the best you can be every day to whatever you're working on.
I agree. So y'all hear that? Don't just go to the job for the check. Like, go there and be your best. Add some value to the job and figure out how you can solve problems. So for anybody that's watching, they might want to be an entrepreneur, or they might just say, I have just this great idea. I might want to just sell it and move on. What are, like, 3 main things that you would encourage a person to do if they're ready to take that next step? Is it the LLC, the logo, like where the story about why this brand is this and that? What are 3 things that you would tell people to do right now if they're ready to take that next step into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think, look, I started off, again, like I said, the entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's hard. It's a daily grind. You're going to work way more than you would ever think of. If you have a 9 to 5, you're going to work 9 to 5. You get to turn your mind off. If you're an entrepreneur and you own a business or several businesses, your mind is never going to be off. You're going to work. If you're on a family vacation, you're going to be working. When you're on a date with your wife or your girlfriend or your husband or whatever, you're going to be working, right? When you are with your children, you're going to be working. When your child is when your spouse or whoever is in labor in the delivery room, you're going to be working, right? And that's a true story. So you got to be okay with that, right? And you got to be relentless about your mission to be successful. And I would say if you're thinking about it and you really want to go out there and be an entrepreneur and whatever that thing is, that gets you to be an entrepreneur into entrepreneurship, you should take time to understand, okay, well, one, why am I doing this, right? Then you need to go through the base steps and understand, okay, what am I, what's my offering? Who's out there that can purchase this, right? And then how much can they really purchase it for? How many people out there that can really purchase it, right? And those base understanding of those things will help you determine if you really have a business, right? Because anything else other than that can just be a hustle, right? Hustling is not fun, right? You want to build a business, you want to build something that you know that it's there's a market out there for it. There's a group of people or entities, whether it's consumer based or B2B, that people need this service or product, right? And and you have the solution to get it to them.
Yeah. So this work takes a lot, clearly, and there's a lot of long days and long nights. But what keeps you motivated? Like, what do you do in your personal life to kind of help you say, you know what, I'm going to still go after it every day? Like, what are some things? It could be spiritually, it could be physically. What are some things that keep you up?
Sleep.
I
I rarely get a chance to sleep. No, I think that it's mental, right? Like, you got to keep your mind together, right? You got to keep your mind focused on the things that's really important. You got to filter out negativity. You gotta feed your soul and your mind with the right things. So, I remember as a kid, as another kid thing, Les Brown and my auntie, my dad's sister, she gave me Les Brown cassettes as a kid. I don't know why she did it, but it worked today. I probably almost can memorize his motivational speeches. So Les Brown is a motivational speaker. And he has speeches about, you got to be hungry, it's possible, you can do it, all these type of things, right? So till today, still today, I listen to Les Brown. I listen to these motivational speeches, even though it's the same thing every time, but it sounds different to me. But I try to start my day with that, right? So it's all about feeding the right things, and feeding yourself with the right stuff,
right,
when you need it, right? So motivational books and tapes, or not tapes, but online. Listen to YouTube, right? I listen to Steve Harvey. I like Steve Harvey. Whatever spiritual, videos you can find, right? If that's your thing, right? Listen to that. Feed your soul, feed your mind with the right things. I also think I believe in taking care of your body, right? Because whether you work a job and you're trying to grow, right, and you're trying to get to the next level, or if you own a business, it is tasking on your body. So you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So I work out a lot. I work out probably at least 6 days a week. Because if I didn't, stress and stress and everything else, stress is the thing, right? So the working out helps manage stress. It keeps your body healthy. And it's all about pouring back into self as much as you can.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically.
I agree. All right, Brandin, is there anything else you want to add to this interview? Anything else that you feel like our audience members need to know about business, entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think, look, and when we talked about, you asked a question about, you gave advice on, like, if you're an entrepreneur or you're thinking about going to entrepreneurship, what are those steps? And what you should do. There's another side to this as well. Like, you can be in business for 10, 15, 20 years and, you have to be able to recognize that there's a shift that's happening. You have to pivot, right? There's always a pivot. I think some of the oldest companies that we know today, they didn't start off as what they are. I think even like companies, and don't quote me on this, but I know like companies like Firestone and the tire companies, they were doing something else before they were the actual tire company today. It completely shifted. But what they recognize is that, okay, just how just as I recommended to start, okay, well, what am I selling? Who's the target? And do they have enough people to buy that thing? And then if that changes, you have to realign your business to meet the need to meet the need and the demands of the target consumers that's out there, that's available. You can't sell something or provide a service to consumers that either don't value it or they just don't want it. So you got to always, as a business person, you always have to have an understanding of that and have enough foresight to make pivots. So that's one thing. And then, look, entrepreneurship is hard, but if you really want to do it, you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself more than no other person. I think a lot of this is faith. You got to have crazy faith, and you got to be willing to take the actions to get there. You got to go for it every day. You got to believe. You just got to go. There's never a good time. This is never a good time. When I started this company, right, and I always knew I was going to go off on my own. I didn't know what it was going to be. It just so happened I started this company because I was in marketing. I was over expansion for NOLA Media Group in Baton Rouge, and what I did there, I created a marketing agency concept for them in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Right, we realigned what they were doing, and I shifted the focus a little bit to move, and we started selling and presenting to clients more like an advertising agency. Did that for a few years, and I woke up one day and quit. I quit with no clients. I quit with no support system. I quit with very little money.
You
right?
just took a leap of faith.
I just took a leap of faith because I knew what I wanted to do ultimately, right?
Yeah.
And I knew that I can't do. I was sure. I was so sure of myself that I can do it, right? So, yeah. I took the leap of faith, and 9 years later, we're still here. We're still rolling. And then we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep growing. We're gonna do things that align to the market. And our goal is to help people. My goal is to help people, and whether if it's this business or another business, identifying challenges in the market and solving that for people. That's what I'm focused on.
Okay, so where can people learn more about your business, and if they want to reach out, because you've been dropping some gems this whole interview, so I can see people want to call Brandin up and say, hey, I have this in my business. So where can we reach out and find more information about you and your company?
Yeah, well, the company website is captureconnectmedia.com. You can reach out there. The company phone number is there as well. Or you can follow me on Instagram, Brandin Michael Campbell. DM me, hit me up. I'm always available to be a resource.
All right, so my last thing, we're here on the set of Good Newz. So what is your good news for today, or just in this season of your life? When you hear the word good news or the phrase good news, what comes to mind?
That's a tough question. I think I got my daughter here with me today.
Should we bring her out?
That's the good news for me anyway. I think anytime that I can stop and be a dad and just be present in the moments and just watching her grow, that's my good news. That's what gets me excited.
That is so sweet. Okay, so one question I didn't ask you, like, how do you balance fatherhood and the 1,000,001 things that you have going on throughout the day?
Well, that's another topic. We're going for a whole nother hour with the topic of balance. I believe there's really no balance. There's no balance. You just got to be on when you can, and then you got to expect not to be on. That's just it. There's no balance. So I don't think I am able to balance it, right? But I'm a dad. I'm a business owner. I'm I'm a son. I'm all these things, and I have to try to do the best I can when I can.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job, Brandon.
Trying my
And thank
best.
you so much for stopping by and sharing all this great advice. So, you guys, if y'all have any questions, make sure y'all tune in and like and subscribe. And we'll definitely have Brandon back one day to maybe talk about his next business venture. But thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we appreciate the support.